How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Data Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map to Farming Simulator 22 called Between the Mounts. And we're going to start with the description from the Mod Hub, and it says, Between the Mounts, Portuguese map with relief and design based in the north of Portugal, more precisely in the region of Trás-os-Montes and Alto Douro, province of Portugal that borders Minho and Douro. It is a sparsely populated region with a lot of immigration. Many residents decide to go to the big city of Portugal or to work in other European countries. Nowadays, with some land and little abandoned, most of those who stay in these lands find it difficult to prosper. However, to the ambitious and hardly have time for any other than the hard work of the land. This region, depicted on the map, contains 28 fields, some with very pronounced relief, 8 plots of vineyards, 3 plots of olive trees, and 4 of coffee. 2 of these fields and a small forest area are already part of your initial farm, where you will also have the house, lime processor, medium fuel tank, liquid silo, grain silo, seed and lime fertilizer silo, haystack, beehive, 3 greenhouses, and animals, cows, chickens, sheep, and horses in open space. Includes game products with coffee as an additional product, 11 points of sale placed for the maximum use of the map, 14 factories. Thanks to Lost Gamer and DH Modding for letting us use the coffee. We hope that you like and enjoy the map. This was created by FSPT and is 342.13 megabytes to download. And if we take a look at the map, this is what it looks like. And I'm already grinning from ear to ear because this map, whew, like this one kind of took me back, took my breath away. So, as kind of a little preview of what you're about to see, there are required mods for this map. Because you're doing coffee is available as a Vine product on this map. You will have to download the Jackdo, was it the Jackdo? I think it's Jackdo, harvester. So, what do you start out with? Well, you start out with all this. Farmland number 2. Pretty good chunk of property right here. And gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous how this is set up. Again, I'm going to stop gushing and move on. Unfortunately, though, you cannot buy all the lands on the map. So if you take a look here up in the north, there's plenty of area right here where the city is where you just can't purchase. Same thing around here where some of the factories are and all that as well. We go down to animal pens. We do have several that we can control. A couple cow barns, a chicken pasture, pigsty, sheep pasture, and horse barn. The contracts are available to us. We do start out with a few production chains, 3 greenhouses, and a lime processor, and there are collectibles, 9 to be exact. There are no mods specific to this map under the buy menu other than the Jackdo harvester, but that is not specific to this map. It is a part of the required mods. But under the build menu, if we go there under the buildings portion, we take a look at silo extensions, you'll see your first mod specific to this map. Then under farmhouses is another one there, and it's a free house, so hey, might as well. Let's see, under productions there are a couple under our factory section here between the mounts, you can see here. And this one is quite expensive. Holy cow. Whoops, I just went out on accident. There we go. And then under orchards, you'll see coffee trees. So they work just like any other, vine or coffee kind of product that's in this particular game. Just very, very similar. Let's see. Now, under animals, there's nothing specific to this map, nothing under decorations, but under landscaping. Not under painting, but under plants. Go all the way to the right, you can see grass. There's a different kind of grass texture for this map. So, Not too shabby. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you right off the bat. You do not start here at the farm. I had to set a few things up and get things going, but normally you start right about here looking at some actually no, I'm sorry, right about here. And you're looking right at this building right here. So this is kind of your starting point here. But in order to expedite a few things and make this a little bit quicker of a map tour, I had to kind of do some things in the background. So brought me here to the starting farm, which I was going to teleport here anyways because it's quite a drive. But anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up to the kind of northwest corner of the starting farm, and we'll kind of start making our way through. But first we're going to take a look at our starting equipment. So once we get to about here, let's take a look at that starting equipment. Under the buy menu and owned items, under medium tractors we have a John Deere 4755 and a Massey Ferguson 3670. We also start off with a Deutz-Fahr Topliner 4090H harvester, the header for the Deutz-Fahr. Under cultivators, a Lemken Schmard 9 500K. Disc harrows, the Horsch Joker 4 CT. Under seeders, the Nordstein HK25 NS3030. Under planters, the Amazon Presea 4500 2C Super. Under sprayers, we have a Hardy Mega 1200L. That is the kind of rear tank with the folding wings, the sprayers. You also start out with fertilizer spreaders, the Amazon ZATS 3200. Manure spreaders, you have the Branther TA12050 Power Spread Plus. And then slurry tanks, you have the FarmTech Super Cease 800. So pretty decent equipment to start out with, not too shabby. You do have 3 greenhouses. These are just basic GIMP greenhouses, tomatoes, lettuce, and strawberries. Nothing special about these, but you do start out with them. Over here, you have your hayloft right here. Over here is your starting silo, where you can take out right here, put in on the back side. Over here, you have a liquids silo, so you can put in and out right here. You can also purchase some of your liquids right there. And now run around the front side here. Right here, you have a repair trigger. Right here, you have a fuel tank. You have a beehive with the spawn point right there. Some honey is already going. Right here, you have your chicken pasture where you can have up to 150 chickens. Right there, you have your lime processor. This is a production. If you stand about right here, you can see manage production point. And now, put in stones, you get out lime. It's a 10:9, so 1 liter reduction, not too shabby. Over here, you have your sleep trigger right there. And then running behind this production point. This, I think, is one of the cooler kind of features on this farm coming up. I really thought this was kind of cool. I haven't seen another map with anything like this to this point in Farming Simulator 22. I've seen something similar in FS19, but this is the first time I've seen it here. But check this out. This is your input for a silo system, but it's a very special silo system. This is specifically for seeds, fertilizer, lime. The 3 kind of necessary products that you'll need, and then your output is right down there. So very, very cool. You can see like how it actually would drain into your silo system. I think that's really cool. That's such a cool little feature. And you're already starting to get a taste for just what kind of scenery you're in for on this. Large cliff face. I think in the description they call them reliefs, but it's essentially like a mountainside, cliff face, whatever you want to refer to it as. But yeah, very, oh, so nice. It is so beautiful. You do have a couple of bunker silos in the corner right over there. Let's see, make sure I got through everything. Yes, now this is what I brought up here. I ended up buying this. This was not a part of your starting equipment. This truck, I ended up leasing it, so we didn't read through it on the starting equipment. Right here you have your cow pasture, or cow barn is I think what it technically comes up as. Or no, it does come up as cow pasture. 500 cows can fit in this pasture. Your milk trigger is right here. Now, I do feel, before I go any further, I do feel there's going to need to be an update. I know, actually, it's not that I feel, it's I know for certain there's an update going to be coming out in the future for this map. And I think that there's also going to be some additional things to point out. But one's blatantly obvious. We're going to get to that here in a little bit. But I think there's also going to be something for this coming up. You got a manure heap right here, a slurry tank, and I think that's actually slurry output. I just noticed this. Okay. So you see, this is your water point. What should be your water point, but I don't see a trigger or a disc for your water point. I completely drove by this like 5 or 6 times, and I thought this was the part of the update that was going to need to happen. So this might actually work. But that might not explain something later on. So maybe we'll stumble across the other one like we did this one, because I couldn't find it in the other cow pasture either. But you see here, on the bottom right, it says food, which, you know, discs right there. It says food for your, for your feed, and then water right underneath that. I didn't see a disc for the water, but the other pens and pastures, you will see those. And now we're just going to head through. You do start with a little vineyard right there to my right. Go down this little cliff face here and into our next pasture. Oh, did it not open? There it goes. Actually, this is the sheep pasture for 150 sheep. I mean, look at this. Look at that beautiful waterfall. How cool is that? Oh, so cool. Feed here, water is over here, and this is why this concerns me and why I didn't see that disc over at the cow barn. As you see, there's one right here at the sheep. So it might work. I didn't test it. Your wool spawn is under the awning right here. Again, look at how beautiful this is. You got the ducks swimming through the pond underneath the waterfall. Just, oh, so cool. Along the cliff face. Imagine you having sheep in here and just kind of, you know, wandering through. So cool. Now we're going to keep going down this path. Down this little winding road, little switchback. Then coming up here to my right, this is our pig pasture. As you can see here, 150 pigs can fit in this. Now, this one doesn't concern me because it doesn't specifically say water, but you can see slurry is stored here. So it works more like a pig barn than an actual pig pasture. Feed goes here. What's also cool about these is that they're loaded with grass, and you can get into all the individual fields, so you can actually mow the grass and utilize some of the resources that are within the pastures. So cool. Now coming up here, again, the only kind of part that kind of takes me out of this world that was built is this right here, this standard horse pasture right here, the Giant's horse pasture. There's your silo for your lime fertilizer and seeds. And right here, your horses, 14 of them can fit in there. The feed goes here. It's not a huge deal, per se, to have the stock horse barn there, but the problem that I find is just because it doesn't match the aesthetics that have been predefined with the other pens and pastures, it just kind of jolts me out of the world that's being built. So it's just kind of that little thing that I tend to find in certain maps. It's that factor that just kind of takes you out of the world that's being built. And I am driving too fast and almost running off the road. We're going to make a left here. And when we get to this area here, we're going to go ahead and go to the map and see where we've been and what we've seen. So right in here. We're going to stop. Now, let's take a look at the map. So we were here at the starting farm. We started up here in the kind of northwest corner of that farm. We saw the greenhouses, the hayloft, the silo, the liquid silo, the house, the lime processor, the chicken barn, fuel tank, the bees. We also came out here to see the seeds, fertilizer, and lime silo, and the cow barn, or cow pasture. It's, I think, technically considered a pasture because it requires water, but they call it a cow barn. They also had the manure heap with the slurry extensions. Over here they had the sheep pasture up and around to the pigsty, and then here to the horse barn. Came all the way out to here, and now we're down here. So to my right is the manure sell point. To my left, the selling bales sell point. We cut around over to here. This is the animal dealer. Now you can come here, and because you already have pens and pastures already loaded onto the map, you can buy your animals directly from this location. If you do, you're going to have a delivery fee. You can also buy from the animal dialogue boxes that we were using to see the volumes of animals accepted in each of the pens and pastures. You can purchase them from there, but again, you're going to have a delivery fee. To save on that delivery fee, what you need to do is you need to bring an animal trailer, either purchased or leased, to this location. Once you bring it to this location, you can load directly into your animal trailer and deliver the animals to the pens and pastures yourself. Essentially what you're doing is, if you purchase from here or the pen or pasture without an animal trailer, what you're doing is you're essentially simulating the animal dealer delivering to your pens and pastures. Just depending on what location you're doing it at, doesn't really matter. But coming here, you are doing the delivery yourself, then you're saving yourself that money. And the first pen for cows has 500 cows. Well, each cow as an adult costs you $100 per cow. So quite a bit of money can be spent on your cows. Now, tucked away back here, off to my left, you have, let's see, what is this? This is the animal sales sell point, and over here you have the potato sales sell point. And over in this direction, we're going to head our way back out. Now, with tight spaces like this, I'm going to say that this is probably going to be a small to medium-sized equipment map. I wouldn't go much bigger than that, because you're going to find that the sell points are going to kind of restrict you. So no big semi-trucks and stuff like that. You're going to have a real difficult time trying to get in and out of places. Now coming up here, we're going to hit our next point of interest, and look at this. Like, just stunning, and how the map maker designed this particular production point. This is the mill for $110,000. You can purchase this. Now I will say this is just a standard grain mill, no like Nothing special about it in that regard. You're just making flour. Outputs here, and I believe input is right here. But again, there is no disk that symbolize the, or to symbolize? No. The disk symbol to indicate. That's the words. English is my first language, but I don't speak it well. Goodness. Indicates where the inputs are supposed to be going. Now we need to backtrack until we get to this first kind of split in the road. Now we're going to make a right. And we're going to take this up into our next point of interest. And this is kind of the area I was talking about where it's going to be kind of a confusion. Wait a minute. I'm seeing I just noticed this. So we were here at the animal dealer, this kind of section here. We came up here to see the mill, and now we are here. Now, okay, so you can't purchase this area with those animals. So those must be there just for decoration, strictly for decoration. I didn't notice those on my initial tour going through, so I must have just completely flew by them and didn't even notice. But this here is a part of our animals that we have available to us. This is a cow pasture with up to 400 cows. Now again, this is one that's kind of confusing. You have a slurry point right here, and you have your output for your milk over there. But if you look, again, now I'm going to try and pay extra special attention. Now see, here it is again. We have a water point right here, but with no water indicator, and we have a food point right here, like a dump trigger for our feed. But there is no like bucket. So I saw this before and didn't think too much of it, but no, there's nothing over there. I guess I assumed that this was supposed to be the food bucket, but this is actually water right here. So if you drive over it with your water tanker, you might get something comes up. You might not. I don't know. So again, it require, hopefully at minimum, just a symbol to be placed onto the map. But at most, you're going to have to actually wait until that gets updated to actually have functional triggers. So that's worst case scenario. But there is a bigger issue lying in wait. I will show it to you. So it might be something that will require a new save game. It's that big of a glitch, that big of an issue. So yeah, it's one of those that you might have to hold off on playing this, even though this is an absolutely gorgeous map. I mean, you'll see just like, well, you're seeing now. You'll see just how beautiful this map can be and is. The rolling hills, the sweeping terrain, the cliff faces, and just how everything's kind of... nope, this is not the way I meant to go. Meant to turn here and go this way. But you'll see just how beautiful things are as we continue to go along. So now we'll turn here. Open the gate. And this is the cheese factory. For $50,000 you can purchase this. And you have your outputs here and your inputs here. Now we turn left, and you can see a familiar sight. The biogas plant. Open this. And you can see none of the triggers or anything are here, so we got to go to our map. So we were, let's see, yeah, we were here at the mill, went up to see the cows around here, backtracked all the way up to here to where we could get to the cheese factory, and now if we purchase farmland number 32 for $189,600, we're going to go ahead and do that. You can see we now have the BGA pop up. And now we got to find our triggers. A couple bunker silos tucked away in the back. We have our output for our digestate right here. Continuing to head around. Alright, we have our inputs for liquids right here. So our slurry right there. You have your trigger for the facility right here. And it's just standard, you know, silage, slurry, manure, and sugar beets cut. And the solids go in right here. You can see a little disc kind of hiding there. But what's nice is you can back right up to it. Any trailer can dump directly into it. Very, very cool. And now we can hop back in the truck. Again, you got all this detail, these little like homes that are just kind of plunked down in this area. Very, very nice. Little village that we're going to pass through. And now come up here. Alright, now here we're going to stop. Right here, we have the cooperative sell point. So you're going to be able to take individual items that will come here and sell those. Right here, we have the seed and fertilizer station buy point. And this is also the cooperative sell point right here. And now we go ahead and back out of here to our truck and catch the next point of interest. Okay, pulling up over here. Now this is the sugar factory. This is a production. And let's see, the trigger, oh, that's right, it's over. Alright, so you have your inputs, I believe are right here. Even though it's not indicated, you do get that kind of blue glow from the disc. It looks like the disc is just sunken into the ground. And over here, you can just see kind of the details that are around here. There's the triggers. So right here is the trigger point. You can purchase this for $110,000. Right here is the slurry station. So it's a slurry buy point. And if I remember correctly, the output was back over here. So the outputs and inputs are kind of in odd locations, because I shouldn't say they're in odd locations, but they're in areas that are kind of separate from the rest of the main unit. So they're kind of around storage areas or things like that, kind of garage areas. So output is right here. They're not in kind of the, I will say, traditional areas that an output or an input will be considered. Whoops, meant to go here. Okay. Right here is the large mill sell point right here. And then around the side here is another seed and fertilizer station buy point. Continuing along, now we start to hit the pavement right here, because now we're starting to head towards the town. go through the roundabout to right here. This is the chocolate factory. For $50,000 you can purchase this. Your output is right over here, but your input is right around the back. Right back there. Oh, just all the details. All the tanker trucks and the containers, like, it just makes the area feel alive, like there's something going on. Love it. Just absolutely love it. That's one of the big things I look for in a map. Now, one thing I will say is there are people and pedestrians that are just kind of, I think they kind of glitch out. It's like the pedestrian spline isn't necessarily optimized. You will also see that because you have people that are glitched, that are just standing around, sometimes the traffic splines get interrupted as well. Right here you have the carpentry. You can purchase this for $60,000. And over here, let's see, output is right here. Inputs are right here with the wood cell trigger right there. Now, one thing is, I believe your wood chips are spawning out into this area, because I did not see a wood chip like dump trigger, unless I missed it somewhere, which I don't think I did. You see, like, you got these piles just kind of sitting around here, and normally the carpentry would have a output for wood chips, but I just don't see one here. You know what? Let's go ahead and purchase it. We got the money. Yeah, so wood chips are a part of the output. I just don't know where it dumps the wood chips. Huh. Hopefully it piles them up somewhere. Alright. And now, across the street, this is a cereal factory. For $110,000 you can make this yours. Inputs are done here, and outputs are right here. So it kind of uses a hybrid skin of what appears to be like the original, maybe kind of slightly different texture cereal factory, but then it also includes all this kind of detail from the large silo system and all this stuff. It's just so cool. Such a brilliant idea. Love the kind of, even if you have that kind of base skin for the cereal factory or for a production point, that kind of additional stuff there is awesome. You've got a ton of individual lots here that you can purchase for your kind of placeables areas. Now, one thing I will say, if we look at the map, we'll take a look at this real quick. So we were here at the BGA, we came up and around, we saw the cooperative sell point, the other cooperative sell point, as well as the seed and fertilizer station. Then went across the street to the sugar factory and the liquid manure, aka slurry station, that is the slurry buy point. We went through here where we saw the large mill sell point, as well as another seed and fertilizer station. Up to here where we saw the chocolate factory, the carpentry, and the cereal factory. And then you have all these little placeable areas, 33,000, 27,000, 37,000. So not bad for the amount of placeables that you can have. You know, you got pretty good area to build up. But you'll see up here, area florestal. It's a forestry area. Now, I've purchased this, and it says that there's something here, like there's an actual production point. It uses the same symbol, but I think this is more supposed to be just a, hey, it's here kind of thing. I don't think there's anything actually up here. Now, I purchased the area, I quick travel to it. There's no indicator around here that says that there's anything available for use up here. So to me, it seems like it's kind of, it's there, but it's not supposed to be. Or it's not supposed to use that symbol, I should say. probably a more fair way of describing it. Okay. Got some grass growing through the concrete there. So it's just, again, it's going to require an update, but it's just those small little things there that kind of like shock you out of the game itself, or out of the map, I should say. Right here, you have the oil factory, 110,000 to buy this. This is just a normal oil mill. It's just using a different skin. It's using the Grape Processing Unit skin. Inputs back here, outputs are in the front. Again, I think it's just the basic kind of recipes and cycles. Coming back here, no, not back here. I went a little too early. Got to back up. Next lane is what I wanted. This one, yes, this one here. Okay. So this is the coffee factory. For $611,088, you can buy this. Whew, just, whew, just, whew. That's brutal. That's a brutal. Inputs for your coffee is right here, and input for wood chips right here. Now, I cannot, for the life of me, find where the output is supposed to be. I don't see any markers. I don't see anything. And like I was saying before, they're typically around these kind of storage areas. I don't see the markers anywhere to indicate where the output. So output may be up top here. It may be around here. It might just be broken and need to be part of the updates. I don't know. I cannot for the life of me find it. I've been around here several times. As you can see, I don't think I'm missing anything. I even looked around here in the containers. Might be here in front of this kind of bay. Out here, maybe. I don't know. Unless I were to spend the $500,000 to purchase. More than $500,000. Which, speaking of which, like I said, coffee and wood chips will make you roasted coffee. So now, I'm going to go ahead and head back out. And now I'm going to head across the street. Right here. We have our shop trigger right here. And our repair trigger just over here. Hop back in our truck. Head down the street a little ways. Right to here. This right there is the supermarket sell point. Hop back out on the main road. Gas station to my left. Also to my left is the next production point. This is the tailor shop. Open the gate. Purchase this for $110,000. Inputs are right here, and outputs typically are right here, but they're actually over here. But again, like I was saying before, this looks like the normal Giant Software base game tailor shop. But it's been kind of modernized and kind of made into something that would fit onto this map. And I'm all aboard. I love that. It's got the I believe that's Portuguese Portuguese words here on the side. It's got the stone kind of brickwork. Like, look at that. That's really cool. I really like that. It's unique. It takes the basic mod or the model and makes it into something that is unique to the map. And lastly, I'm gonna go this away. Wait a minute. Did I pass by it? Yes, I did. All right. Output right here. Your marker is right here, and this is the bakery for 50,000. Can purchase that. And inputs right here. So now we're gonna hop back in the truck. We're gonna leave the town. I don't know what that is, but again, it's just little details like this. Like, look at this. We go here. I don't know what that says. Something 2019, maybe established 2019, but I don't know what this is supposed to be. It's cool. Oh, you know what? I think that's supposed to be like a grape press. Yeah, because those are grapes. I think that's supposed to be a giant grape press. That's cool. Anyways, sorry, got distracted there. But again, details. Anybody who's watched me for a while now will know that I'm a details kind of person, and those small things just to some people it might just go unnoticed. It might not be a big deal kind of thing, but it allows you to kind of sink deeper and deeper into the world that was created. So now, coming up here, this is the part I was talking about earlier that's definitely going to need fixed. And you can see it right there. This is the next production point, and yeah, that's a problem. That's kind of a big problem. But you do have a bunch of vines here. I think these are actually vines. Let's go to the map. So we were here in town. We saw the chocolate factory, the carpentry, the cereal factory came back around, oil factory, coffee factory, the shop trigger repair trigger, the supermarket, gas station, tailor shop, and bakery. Then we came back down here, up and around to this point here. So yes, these are actual vines and vineyards, and it looks like for some reason I already own them. Huh. That's odd. I don't recall owning them. Did I buy them earlier and just didn't realize it? Huh. Anyways. Come around this side. So yeah, now that I already own this, this is going to be like a lot of product that you can take care of. Come through the doorway here, and now you can start seeing the problem like prominently. Now the biggest problem is, you open this gate, watch this. I'm stuck. I am stuck. I cannot get in. If I jump, though, I can get in. But the problem is you got to be able to bring your grapes into this area. This is the wine house. $437,000. Now this is what I'm talking about. This, if this gets updated, this might require a new save game because it's going to change the height of where this is placed. I don't know though. I'm not 100% certain about that, but I'm going to warn against getting too deep into this map because if an update is put out, it possibly going to require a new save game. 437,000 for this, and we bring our grapes here and we make barrels of wine. Just a new product that can be made. Very, very nice. Love that. But again, I don't know where this produces. And again, I don't know if that's because the area is kind of glitched out. Might pop out somewhere in here. I don't know. I just do not know. I cannot hop over. Anyways, so yeah, it's just something to be mindful of, to be, be full warned, because it's a possibility that if that gets updated, I know I keep saying this, I keep repeating myself, but I would hate for somebody to get so far along and then the map maker goes out, makes the update, and now all of a sudden, oh hey, now I can't, keep my save game or whatever the case may be. That's the absolute worst, when an update gets rolled out and then all of a sudden, like, nothing that you worked on is savable at that point. Now this is more of a console issue that I guess there's methods that the PC players can actually implement to be able to save the progress that they had, something to do with the XML files. But yeah, console players will know what I'm talking about with the updates. It can be very heartbreaking. So, this is our next point of interest. This is the sawmill. And the purchase point, where is that purchase point? Oh, there it is. Purchase point for 100,000 is right there. Outputs are right there. Inputs are just behind me over here with the wood cell trigger right there. We have our production wood chips being put right there, and a wood chip sell point right over here. Now we go ahead and leave this area and head across the street to the next set of interests. And this one we're going to go ahead and drive to. Okay, this is the spinnery. You can purchase this for $60,000, and you have your inputs around the back here, and your outputs are back here. And now we need to head to our last point of interest, and this one's kind of a doozy, kind of a big one. So I don't want to say I saved the best for last because it's not necessarily the best, but it is a pretty cool feature and very, very likable feature for me personally. So here we will make a right. Nope, wrong. This way. This is the way. And then we keep following this along past the rock. Now we're kind of on the back side of the spinnery right over here. Keep following this along. Look at that right there. Look at the incline that's on those vines. That is intense. You're going to need some powerful equipment to get up and down that. Thankfully, a lot of the grape tractors and things that are meant to work on the vines are very high torque, so they're able to get up and down even against high-pitched elevations. So here, we want to make a left, and then follow this around. And this, you start to see, is, whoa, the quarry section of the map. Now, three kind of things stick out to me here. First, you have your stone sell point right here. You have piles of stone sitting here waiting for you, and piles of lime. You also have a lime buy point right there. Now, because you don't own the land that this sits on, you cannot harvest the stone or the lime. But if you go to your map, we were here at the wine house, came up and around, we saw the sawmill and the sawmill wood chip point, as well as the sell point for the wood chips. Went across the street to the spinnery, came up and around, all the way over here into this area here. We saw the stone sell point as well as the lime station, but you can purchase this for $496,632, and now after purchasing it you have access to all the lime and all this stone. So you could literally harvest all this stone from the ground here, throw it into the processor here and get paid for it, or take it back to your farm and turn it into lime. And then come and buy this lime, and maybe even install a sell point, because I don't think you can sell lime on this map, but let me just double check before I go and tell tales out of school. Here we go. So selling, so you can buy it, but you can't actually sell it. So you'd have to install like the sell everything, sell point, and go from there. But that is it. That is Between the Mountains. Now, time for my opinion on this map, and you might have already guessed, I love this map. I am shocked on how gorgeous there's parts of this map that are just so stunningly beautiful. But, and this is a huge but, those glitches, those potential cow barn or cow pasture glitches, and especially that wine cellar, that's a game killer. Like, I would have loved to have hopped on this and just tooled around on it and played and just had some fun on this, because this looks like a lot of fun. Like the pens and pastures, how the driveway is kind of integrated into the pens and pastures, just it's such a cool look. But because that wine cellar's busted and floating, at least 5 feet in the air, um, yeah, it's just, it would be that kind of thing that would be able to break the immersion just enough for me to be like, okay, I can't. And it's on a path where you're going to be able to see it quite often. You're going to be going into town to sell your goods or to use the production points, things like that. So it's not like you can really avoid it. I mean, there's paths you can take to avoid it, but that's pretty close to like the most direct route. So if those issues didn't exist, the way the map would be if everything was all a-okay hunky dory, probably 4.5 to 5 is where I'd give it out of a 0 to 5 scale. 4.5 or a 5. Like, this is a really very beautiful map. You got your farm that's kind of stuck on the cliff face here. I mean, looking down on everything, it's just, how cool is that? Just so beautiful, very cool. But because those issues exist, especially the big one where it could be a actual, save game killer kind of thing, I'd give it a 2 or a 3. And until they get fixed, it's gonna stay that low. Probably closer to a 2, because those are some big issues. You know what? I'm sorry. I'll take it down even further. I'll actually give it a 1. The reason I will give it a 1 is because the looming potential of there being a new save game. So it's really kind of, in my opinion, pointless to even start a game save on this if that looming potential is out there that you're going to lose your progress and lose your save game. Or have to lose your save game if you then want the subsequent updates to take place. But anyways, that's how I feel about it. I hope you enjoyed this map tour. If you did, please show them by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing that shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. That being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.